Hey everybody, Aaron here. Welcome back to another anime review. Today we're looking at Bastard Magical Instructor Episode 4, which I'm going to say right now, I'm starting to really enjoy the show just in general. This episode was great. I think it was very solid. It wasn't per se anything super great in terms of like anything I think significant happening per se, but we are starting to see some interesting things. We're seeing one, Sisti really, I think she's falling for the instructor. I mean, like, she's always now backing him up during the thing where apparently they're gonna have this magical competition type thing in the beginning of this episode, and they do actually eventually start happening. But in the beginning, he's thinking, okay, I'm gonna separate the class based on everyone's stats and skills. And what he learns though is that usually most of the classes just take their best students and have them run multiple gambits. They don't just do the one, then they switch to some other group. They actually always have the same people doing it, which he kind of regrets at one point in his head. He's like, "Oh, I'm gonna lose now because of that." And we do learn that there's an ulterior motive for this. He's actually trying to get a lot of money. He knows that they get a bonus if his team does well enough to represent the school, so he wants money. And of course, as we see, apparently he's kind of desperate for money. But what's interesting though is that despite the class, one of the class representatives saying, "Oh, I think you should do it this the way that every other class does," Sisti backs Glenn up right away, and she says, "Oh, Sensei's got this. He knows what he's doing, right?" And she's like really cutesy about it. So I'm like, Sisti, you're probably falling for Glenn, huh? Okay, I see how it is. We also learned a little bit more about Rumia or Rumeria. I can never pronounce her name correctly. It's Rumeria. Even saying it like in my head, if you notice, I like started stumbling around words because for some reason that's a weird word for me to say. Rumia. I'm gonna say Rumeria, but it's probably Rumia. But whatever her name is, the girl that's always with Sisti all the time. Apparently, she might have met Glenn originally during a war. It seemed like, because it seems most likely when she was in danger, some guy protected her, and told her to stay safe and kept her safe from harm. It looked like Glenn's character, so I'm presuming maybe that's why she kind of felt so attached to him right away. So definitely, Sisti's gonna have someone that's probably vying for Glenn's love right away. I mean, come on, because this is a typical romance anime harem stuff that we're starting to see when it comes to teachers and students. We're starting to see that a lot lately. That's it's kind of odd to me, but it's starting to happen a lot more in anime. Anyways, though, overall, though, what was kind of cool was the whole magical competition stuff. That was actually really well done. I love the animation for it. All the classes kind of did very well. More so, what I think was funny was the whole fact that Glenn had kind of staked his 3 month salary on another teacher. I think his name's Hal something, and I think Glenn actually makes that joke because he can't remember his name. It's like Hallie or something like that, but it's not pronounced that way. It's like Halley, and he actually goes, "Hal, whatever your name is." And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, yeah, that's kind of how I want to call it because I'm like trying to pronounce his name, and I'm like, that's a weird version of Hallie, but. He stakes that if his class does better than the other guy's class, he gets 3 months salary bonus from the other dude. So I think that was kind of funny. So he's really riding on the fact that his class could do well, but it seems like so far they are doing very well. And you know what? It's kind of cool, and they really seem to all are getting more along with each other, but even more so getting along with the sensei in general because of the fact that they now have more trust in him, and he seems like an actual teacher, not some guy who comes in and just kind of sleeps during class. Overall, good episode. I liked it. I hope you guys did too. If, as always, please comment below if you felt differently about this episode. I would love to hear from you guys. As always, I will be doing, I think, Suka Suka in a couple minutes. I'll probably have that up roughly like maybe 10 minutes after this one because I'm actually watching it on the side while this renders. So I'll talk to you guys later in that review. Have a good one, everyone. Bye-bye.